Io, taggate Natuzzi. Io ero super social, but last summer I decided to stop my Instagram because I believe that, it makes me a better person not to be on Instagram. My ego, before when I was on Instagram, if I was looking at my phone images, like folder, it was all selfies. That's your ego speaking. And now I don't look at myself anymore. I don't care. You have to feed content for people that are following you and pumping your ego. Instead, now I like to live the moment, enjoy this moment. I'm not there. So I believe, we should all learn to be more in the moment, be more real, human, authentic, and less social. And if we are a social animal, we have to demonstrate that we are a social element in real life and not on a phone. So I'm sorry, I'm not on Instagram anymore.
Sure. Okay, so welcome again to our podcast that's produced by Raffles Milano. And here today we have Pasquale Natuzzi Junior. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so I think we can start with the questions already.
What if furniture branding isn't just about aesthetics, but about shaping how people live? Think about it. Our homes reflect our identities, our values, even our aspirations. In that sense, are brands like Natuzzi not just selling furniture, but a way of life?
Bobby is making the question. Mr.
Yes.
Bob here. Okay. Well, Bobby, thank you for asking me about how to change people's lives. It's actually one of the reasons why creators create. You want to really to make an impact on people's lives. And I think for those brands that have the fortune to make that impact on people's daily life, people's homes, you can talk about automotive, about a design of a bottle of daily usage, right? There is definitely function called in the creative equation. But if you're then shaping also something that implies comfort, something that implies well-being, so for many, I know designers of mine, friends, that say that good design has to be uncomfortable. And in my family, we always invested on the opposite direction. So inventing this concept of visual comfort. So you have to look at something, at a product that you look at it and you think, wow, that should be very comfortable. And then you sit in it, not on it, in it, and it's actually really comfortable. And in French, confort, cum forza, means, it gives you strength. So comfort actually empowers you to have, a good, comfortable training shoe gives you, the power to run faster or to be more comfortable. And also design can play that role. And then if you add, an idea of, which is more belonging to the Natuzzi, let's say, aesthetic, which is of this, we call it quiet luxury, of a design that you look at and it relaxes you, it inspires you to serenity. Together with ergonomic comfort, we blended a new term called comfortness, which is for us an idea of comfort and wellness. So we are developing technologies that are embedded in design and that really deliver with innovation a sense of well-being to your body. So basically your legs, some seats are, for instance, reclining, doing micromobility, features that really improve your body. But even if we don't go in the more technological side of design, and if you think of us, you, future designers of today, us, brands after 66 years still creating, it is the most beautiful, actually, outcome and also driving impulse to inspire people to decorate their lives, to be in their memories, to create memories. So I think it is what really brings us brands, craftsmen, designers together. Because even if you look at the most extreme designer or the most humble and expert craftsman, R&D prototypists, they all are connected by that love for good quality, good design, good feature that people will remember and fall in love with. So I think that definitely we can change people's lives. Beauty can make the world a better place. And there's now also, different element in the equation that we have to consider, like, sustainability or good design, which is also a different way of interpreting collaboration, because I believe that good design is made by good people, and I'm happy today to be with you, because this is what I'm here for. I'm here to connect with you. I'm here to get to know you, connect, and maybe tomorrow do things together, and this is also what we need to bring back in this beautiful industry, which is sense of unity, love for diversity of aesthetic, diversity of design thinking, and bring it together to make meaningful things. So definitely building memories and changing people's daily life through design is what we work for. I took longer than what I had to. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Don't take your time.
I told you. I go 40. They gave me 40 minutes. So it was just.
You have
30.
all the time that you want.
Thank you.
This is what I think that Natuzzi is really good for, because I personally, 80% of my house it's Natuzzi. My parents love it, the brand, and it's just about designing really good furniture, minimalist style, and it's just timeless.
Thank you.
You can have the same sofa for more than 10, 20 years.
Bobby, I told you.
Bobby agrees with you. Okay, you can go to the next.
Next.
Let's be honest, heritage brands aren't timeless. They're just well-marketed nostalgia. People don't buy history, they buy a feeling. So is luxury furniture about craftsmanship, or is it just about selling an idea of the good life at a premium?
Well, it's a mix of both. I think that every brand has its own aesthetic, and every consumer or buyer has, they have their own needs. For me, what I try to do as a creative director, driving, let's say, recent years of design direction and brand direction of Natuzzi, what really was meaningful to me was not really an idea of luxury. I don't like the word luxury. I find it very boring and not meaningful for anything, because, to be honest, like, luxury to me means very often overselling and overpromising. And I feel that the most important thing is moreover, like we said before, building memories or delivering authentic experiences, values, and for us, we started, yes, to talk about lifestyle, which is very important, but the most important thing for us within building a lifestyle was also the narrative part, right? So 10 years ago, I started to work with a woman called Concette Lancio. Concette Lancio was the right-hand arm of Bernard Arnault in the acquisition of all the brands from LVMH, right? So they were working together to understand what was the DNA of brands like Dior, all the brands that they were buying. And LVMH buys a lot. And so then she left and she started to give consultancy to brands. She worked for Dolce & Gabbana. There was a brand back in the days called D&G. I don't know if any of you remember. They eliminated that and they went only to Dolce & Gabbana. Then she came and worked with us to understand what does Natuzzi stand for, right? And we thought that us, being from Puglia, which is in the deep south of Italy, and no brand of the ones you see here comes from there. Back in the days in Puglia, 66 years ago, it was only sheep, cows, olive trees, stones, water. That's it. There was no furniture manufacturing. You know, my father was a visionary back then, but after 40 years, more or less, we thought like, this is a powerful statement to be different, to come from this region, you know, to be unique and building memories, moments, and designs from this region to the world, for the world. And so we decided to transform this idea of Puglia as our muse, from its counters, ways of, you know, delivering messages of architecture inspired by nature, the colors, the counters, once again, to deliver this sense of hospitality. Because don't forget that all the heel of the boot, the south of Italy, has always been invaded by the Turks, the Arabs, the Greeks. So we've been a region that has always been invaded. And we learned to be hosting our invaders and somehow take some inspiration from culture. So we've been a culture that has, you know, blended in a way all of the ones that came to visit us, being hospitable. So for a brand that does hospitality, what better than, you know, transform a lifestyle of a Mediterranean lifestyle into, you know, an hospitality kind of interior design approach. So definitely this concept of lifestyle for us was more meaningful than just say, oh, we are luxury. You're going to buy this sofa for 40,000 euro. Why? Because we say it, because we buy a lot of advertising on the magazines. Like, I don't buy that. What we believe in is really an idea of narrative design, where an inspiration can transform ideas into objects, and objects can inspire communication and marketing to deliver that message. And so when I started to do the creative director, the first designer that I started to work with was Marcel Wanders. And together we designed 3 collections that year in 2017 that were inspired by 3 characters, invented characters of Puglia: the agronomist, the oceanographer, and the dandy from Puglia. And every object had this visual, you know, correlation between, you know, the tray of a farmer that was reshaped and transformed into a coffee table, you know, for instance. And it was strong, because then if you look at the advertising images, there is, you know, there's actually my dog in it. And it's so strong because you see that it's powerful. It's not just that beautiful minimalistic chair designed by Piero Lissoni. I said it, sorry. In that white background, to be, all the respect for Mr. Piero Lissoni, we love you, but, you know, where's the message? Give us some design thinking, give us some love, give us something more, because people, that chair is that chair. Mm-hmm. And in 15 years, new generations, you, us, we're all storytellers. We all believe in messages, in narrative, in heritage of the brands, yes, but more in the legacy. Like I believe that it's not really about the history that you have behind you. Yes, that matters, but it's more what you have in front of you, how you see the future, how bright and creative and vibrant are your ideas tomorrow. And to show that to you that are building, I think, you know, the blocks of tomorrow, you have to do more than just good, you know, good sketches and design. So to me, luxury, no. Lifestyle, yes. But to build the lifestyle, you need the narrative. And to do the narrative, you need that strong and dynamic design thinking that makes the narrative bold, so that you remember something, not just because somebody designed it, you know. Does it make sense to you or not? No?
It does.
It does. Somebody says it does.
It does.
Mr. Lissoni, we love you. Sorry.
This is a more of a personal question. Do you think that Natuzzi, even with all the heritage and all the legacy in the future, it's always going to be a strong player, even when you have competitors that follow kind of the same steps? But let's say, the difference of Natuzzi and of like the price, for instance, like not everyone can afford a 5,000-10,000 euros sofa, and Natuzzi is still like able to continue strong compared to these competitors.
Well, Good question. Very good question. It's a very tough moment for you know you know the history that we're living. Our competitors are not just companies that work in the same field in the same arena, but our competitors are Donald Trump's tariff now, war, like the intention to buy from customers that is going lower and lower. So there is a state of, I don't want to call it emergency, but we're definitely not living the happiest days that we will recall of. So competition these days is a very hard, idea to figure out. But for a brand, no matter you're a leader or not, I think it's very interesting to create in these days, because if you think about it, if all of you in this room, like you do the 72 hours hackathon, right? So you're able to create things in 72 hours, right? Imagine if you would have 1 week, right, of your time so intense to create with that drive, that strive, and that focus, right? And have 2 more days to do your what is it called, not Stripe, the website Shopify, right? The e-commerce like plug and play thing. You have your e-commerce, you pull ideas together. You have 1 month, right? You start a new brand in 1 month, and if you do it right, your e-commerce might be stronger than Natuzzi's e-commerce, right? Because there's no more barriers. The digital world, the global world, this dynamism and in a way empowerment that has been given to a people through digital, through innovation, put all of the big elephants like Natuzzi, all this, in a position where we have to be very careful to who comes, in the arena. You have to stay very attentive and dynamic, because you think you're number one today, but tomorrow, a newcomer comes in, and you can really feel it next to you. So I don't believe in this sense of serenity that comes out of the big brands that are at Salone these days. Every time I go to Salone, I get out and I'm depressed. I'm depressed like you have no idea. Because I go there and I see some companies that have this 2,000 square feet booth, like you feel you're going to the Duomo, the church. Oh my God, you have to queue and you get in. There's 300 square meters, one big round sofa. You look at it, it's the same for the year before. You're like, okay, fine, next. And then you have small booths, small brands with great idea, but you're like, how will they get in a higher ground in such a dense and competitive world? And then you have other average companies, and everything is in there. I imagine.
Sorry.
Ted, Bobby. And so it's very hard to understand what's today, what's the how to interpret the commercial market scenario from big names, smaller names, emerging talents, established brands, branding crisis, but they have to reinvent themselves. So if you ask me, the only way is to stay very humble, resilient, and curious, and be out there, always trying to build new ideas. And to me, the real and most beautiful ingredient to stay alive is collaboration. The most beautiful gift that I've been given in this last year has been to work with designers, to bring together like people that had totally different design DNA than Natuzzi, that came in, and like when you blend, I always say, when you blend water and water, sparkling water, still water, like no big change, right? When you take Red Bull, it's here, so I think we can say it, you know. Red Bull and, I don't know, something else, vodka. It's vodka, Red Bull, whatever. Nothing crazy, but, you know, there is some spice in it, you mean? You know what I mean? I mean, the mix of diverse elements and collaborating and creating, it empowers a better design. So I think that's the way that people have to, you know, getting to in terms of mindset to deliver better designs and for companies to be better at what they do is to blend ideas and take design thinking at the core of their marketing, design, and company strategies.
I completely agree. This is why I believe that AI won't be capable of doing, because the discussion is about how AI is invading our lives, how they won't be, it won't be possible for AI to blend different people, different brains and different designs to come up with a new product, because it's just too open.
Wow. So I have to be honest. I was, if you would have asked me 1 year ago about AI, I would have told you, AI is like, I'm using it. And it helps, you know, it helps. It's all the time that I had to spend on some things that were maybe time consuming. Now I'm faster, you know. I'm faster, but you know, machine learning, AI, they improve. The more material we give them, the more perfect they become in shaping them and reshaping them. And they can build new ideas. They can start a new brand. They can make you a business plan. They can give you a new brand name or anything. It really goes everywhere. A video, an image, a design. So I think once again, if today we ask, like our competitors, even more, to go back to your question before, our competitor is also AI today. Because you will have so many companies that will use it and will run fast, and you will find, you know, a new startup or another company who's building a strong strategy or a strong product made from AI, made of AI. But when you have us, you know, doing things from the heart, from the love, that, you know, when you will go there and present something and say, it has been done by, what's your name? Lisa and Pasquale. They loved it. They dreamed it. It was authentic. They spent time on it. I remember before COVID, the last day of COVID, I flew from Puglia to Verona with Nika Zupant. You know Nika Zupant, it's a designer, she's a great designer. We went together in a cave, in a marble cave, to pick. We had to make a terrazza. You know, terrazza is that blend of kind of. We picked hand in hand because I had this idea. I told to my design procurement team, I said, I want this stardust effect. So we created a blue marble, and we picked hand in hand every single stone with these little shiny rocks and pieces of glass. So you have this finishing that is like, you look at it and it's really galactic. But it had that human experience. And the moment we left that marble cave, the same day, Mr. Conte, back in the days, called the block of Italy for COVID, so everything was blocked. It was such a memory, you know, to have done something in an extreme point of human history, running there, making it real, you know. It's what we can tell. It's once it goes back to storytelling, to the human and real side of design. So AI is going to be there. It's going to grow. Many people are going to use it. It's going to be good. It's going to be better. You can't stop it. But what we can do is believing in that good design made by good people, working together, design thinking, collaboration, mixing, and eventually also that, you know, one brain is enough. But when you have 10 brains or 5 together co-creating and thinking together, you don't need AI. You don't need it. And that content, that product, that message, that strategy is going to be real. It's going to be authentic. So in general, I told you at the beginning, I'm not on Instagram anymore because I want to be more authentic. And I knew, and I was understanding that, Instagram was taking me in places where I had to please my ego and please people that were following me. I don't need that anymore. I want to be authentic. I want to be the true version of myself with less wrong impulses and stimulation from the outside. And I think authenticity also has to go back to companies to keep it more real, to keep it more tactile, to keep it more authentic, yeah.
Fair enough. Can go to the next one.
Imagine it's 2035. AI isn't just assisting brands, it runs them. AI curates collections, determines trends, and manages every touch point. Human designers are obsolete. Convince us why human creativity should still lead. How will Natuzzi survive?
I think I told you. It's what it is, Like how can you beat digital? How can you beat robot? You can't stop the evolution, You can't stop it. But the beautiful thing is that, you can keep it real, You can definitely. I don't think we have been the ones who wanted innovation, wanted digitalization, needed it. And who hates AI here in the room? Like, if you're good at using it, you enjoy it because you're fast, you're more powerful, It's like if you have a car that goes 50 miles an hour and then someone else comes in and has a car that goes 200 miles an hour, you're faster. You're stronger. You have a better tool in your box. So why not? But in a world that is going to be overcrowded with contents that will have less and less human side, keeping it real, keeping it human, branding it, labeling it. I think in the future it will for sure come up some label that will say, there's already a brand, I think it's Pharrell that made this brand called Human Made, right? And the Human Made will soon become, like, I think, as powerful as the Made in Italy brand, and in the future the only element that will keep it memorable is in fact the aspect of humanity that we will miss more and more. Like now, I'm the type of guy, I can't buy in online e-commerce. I'm like very bad. I can never pick the right size. I get the wrong color. I don't know how to return things. I'm so bad. I like to go in stores, spend time, talk to the store manager, sales assistant, try, leave, shop, touch. I like to keep it real. I'm very old school, by the way. And I think in the future, more and more we will get back to, we will miss the real tactile, authentic side of design, of commerce, of anything, and how to price it and give it a value. I think people will just appreciate, like in a way we all say, AI is so bad, everyone is talking about it. But today I'm starting a new brand. I'm doing a new startup I have to create. So sometimes I start something new. And I met a designer, and this designer in 3 days gave me a 3D rendering. So good. He used Rhino, he was good at using 3D, he was very fast, he was very detailed, right? And then I had to make another thing, and I went to meet two designers. And this girl was like, yeah, but I don't do 3D, right? So now where are my pants? I have to start a brand. I have very limited time. Who would I pick? The person who gives me the 2D sketch or the person who gives me the amazing 3D? Of course I have to go for the 3D. As much as I would love, still the romantic, but I need it because that 3D, I will give it to the supplier. The supplier with the 3D mathematics is going to be fast. Like the world goes in that direction. So we need to be fast. We need to be technological. We need to surf innovation. It's stupid to say, AI, it's the evil side of the world. No, we invented it because we needed it, like digitalization and tools and innovation. But what we have to always prize is that some things will have to stay real, will have to be coming from the heart. And then use AI for what it is, just, a tool. But it will never be the soul, it will never be the driving force of something. For that, I think we have to be careful how we use it. So we are, the good or bad it's in our hands. So we have to be, it's all about, educating ourselves, communicating, I think in America, if America is going through these days, these times, these tough times, and the world will, and I'm not going to touch politics. I don't like politics. I don't care. I'm not, going there. But for sure, there has been a lack of communication. If more people would have been educated to what one person on the left and the other person on the right was planning to do, trust me, today it will be, less people will be surprised. Because what one person that is governing now at the government of the United States these days is doing, he's doing what he said he would have done. The problem is that people were not reading. They were not educating themselves. There was no good communication. Media are so and so. So just saying, let's stay informed. Let's, us, I think, I'm a little older than you, but still, we have to stay active, keep culture dynamic and stay informed, because I think that the use of technology is also something that we can turn into something good, but if we will stay ignorant on how to use it, it might be very dangerous and come back as a boomerang, like other things these days.
Great. Not going to talk about politicians as well.
No.
It's another subject. You being an old school guy, but also accepting that we need an AI is already here. Mm-hmm. How do you introduce AI in Natuzzi process and everything?
So we are using AI more for information technology, and it is to assemble data, it is very fast. Once you have to also be very careful. So what we're doing, we're creating our own AI. So our data stay in our internal systems, because another problem is that if you put your data on ChatGPT or whatever, all of a sudden you can Google, what is Natuzzi selling in Florida? And Molteni can Google that. And if I put the data of Natuzzi into ChatGPT, someone else can find it. So there's jeopardization of companies' data and privacy, So we did our own internal AI. And many people are doing that. Legal studios, maybe you have your own, I don't know. But yeah, you can definitely privatize AI. And then design-wise, we don't use it. We are very 3D. There's no one's really sketching anymore, but definitely 3D is something we use. Rhino, Cinema, 4D, 3D, whatever it is. And AI is, once again, just used for a little bit of research. It's actually good, you get information so quick, so it's good to get information. And it's also good to get not only external information. So when we have to, there's tools for AI. We have a strong retail presence. We have like 600 stores in the world, and more we open every year. So when we have to open a store, we look in that area. There's AI tools that tell you what are the performances of all the retailers in that area, and how would you perform, how much are they selling, So it's more easy to understand where you have to go, where you have to open if yes or no. So there is good tools for AI, but I tend to keep it very very basic. You want to know why I use AI? The only thing that I do with AI is I'm very passionate. So sometimes I get very angry or passionate, let's say, and so I write emails from my heart, like what the fuck, and then it's like 10 pages of heart, and there is things that maybe you don't want to say. So I ask suggestion to AI to let me look less angry, and she reads me through, and she's like, "Do you want to look less angry?" I'm like, "Yes, please." So she rewrites the email, and then I look more calm. That's the only reason I use. That's the only thing that I use AI for, to make me look less angry and passionate.
I kind of do that sometimes.
When I write emails.
Okay, we can go to the next one.
I can't hear your friend Mr. Bobby here. I have to.
You welcomed AI-driven design, but if technology dictates trends, what happens to human artistry? When every product is optimized, does design lose its soul?
Wow. So I just had a lunch with 20 architects, and we were talking about the fact that this is a very very important topic and matter, and I'm very happy to talk about this here, because you have to understand that your ideas, your designs in 20 years from now, I'm pretty sure if things keep on going this direction, you will not be able to produce them. I'm very sure. Like, there is no more artisan, craftsman, people that think about a friend of yours that would love to be a sofa prototypist. They would love to do that. Think about it. Anyone you can think of? Nobody. Who wants to do the job? Nobody. Who wants to go be working in a, woodwork factory or whatsoever? Nobody. So there is an incredible crisis there. There is no generational passage, no legacy there. So this is nobody talks about it, but this is very, very scary. All the schools that are more into technical design, nobody goes. Like, it's like very bad. It's very bad to think of the design industry and think that you all want to be designers. I know, it's cool, it's amazing, and eventually pays the job. But if you think about who has to make things, there's a big problem. So first of all, we can talk about AI, but AI is not the first issue to me to then getting to craftsmanship and artisanry, because the first issue is that there is no more craftsmen. No more. Like, for every company in the fashion industry, there's nobody that wants to be even the Hermes bag. Who wants to be there in the laboratory sewing a piece of leather for, I don't know, 50 euros an hour for a bag that it's sold for 50,000 euro in a store? Nobody. Nobody wants to do the job. So it's an issue, It's an issue to understand, good design, but who's in charge of good manufacturing? It's a big problem. So AI, eventually, I'm telling you, I don't want to go there, but there is a company that I know of in Scandinavia that, for instance, they use a lot of robotics. There is actually companies in Scandinavia that do chairs. I can even name it. It's called Stressless Formway. It's a studio, and I know them. They do all of their chair design and chair manufacturing. It's all mostly robotics. So if you imagine the future of robotics, there's already aluminum factory, automotive car industry. It's all robotics. There's some there is only the guy, the Rolls Royce. They have only one guy that paints by his hand the line on the side of the car by his hand, and so it always has these defects. So I think it's one of the few left out there. The rest is all robotics. So if you put AI and robotics together, if you look at the future of manufacturing, we really have to be scary, because tomorrow it might be all digital. So this is something that we have to put out there, because If I look at, once again, 20 years from now, I'm pretty scared, to be honest, about the future of manufacturing.
So you believe that AI is behind the end of this type of art, or it was happening before?
It was happening before. AI. I am, once again, to me, AI is not the problem. AI is not the problem. Come on. AI is just a tool, and it's a tool that we use. And honestly, I believe ignorance is the problem, mismanagement is the problem. So if you know how to use it, it's just a good tool, to be honest. I was always against it, AI, but I mean, who's still in charge and empowering good messages that come from their brain and from their hearts always will. The problem is that who's not capable of doing might overuse it. But overall, I don't think AI is the problem. Once again, ignorance is the problem. Non-right good communication is the problem, meaning that we're here today and we're talking about the fact that nobody wants to be in the manufacturing industry anymore. So it's about communication. It's about being on Instagram and talking less about, I don't know, Chiltern Firehouse in London that fired up and everyone is scared because they can't go party there anymore. It's all about, the type of messages that we deliver. So I loved being here today with you because I love to discuss with the new generations of design, the new generation of the industry. You're all very conscious and capable of understanding and being conscious about the role that you have in society and in the industry. So it's important that you become like oil split. You deliver the message, you spread the word, and you try to understand that you have a very important responsibility in this industry. You have the role of driving change and changing really this world. And I'm not saying this just because I want to look hot and cool on this live podcast, but if not you, who? Really, me, my father, yes, we try, but it's really new. So AI is not a problem. I think sharing one team, one goal, one strategy, a global vision of how to redirect the world in the right way is what we need to do. And if we have a cousin that is not working and needs to find a job, suggest them to learn to make sofas because nobody wants to do them anymore.
Right, we could go on and on, but think.
I finished my 40 minutes, huh?
Unfortunately.
I know it. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Can we take advantage
Thank you, Bobby.
and discuss a few couple of more things between us, or are you running away?
I'm good.
Are you still alive?
If anyone has something to ask.
Pasquale, while you were talking